Right. Today we can use the whiteboard as well. Before that, I will show you my textbook. So let's take this and start to do stuff based on this. Right now, we have completed 2 lessons and we are going to start the third one. I hope you can remember that we have done 2 lessons by now. You can see the third lesson. Okay, Danuga, let's put the topic as operating system and file management. Put the topic as operating system and file management.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Operating system and file management. Okay. What is an operating system that we have discussed? Let's have a look at this. So we have learned the first chapter that an operating system is a software. We have learned it. If you can remember, we have learned that it is a program. Anyway, so it establishes the relationship between the user and the hardware. Right. So we'll discuss it about in detail. So I will unshare the screen for the moment, and I will show you. So I hope you can see the screen here. I was not sharing it before. So let's see our chapter, operating system and file management. And operating system, we have to now discuss what it is. Right. I hope you can see the screen well. We have, if you take the computer, we can show the computer hardware as a single layer like this. Layer. You may have a kind of come across this word, a layer of chocolate. Have you? You may have come across that layer of chocolate, layer of jam, butter. So this is also in now. Layer is not only used for food; it is also used for explaining different things in different subjects. Now this is now if you take the computer, certain concepts in computer can be explained by taking the different parts of the computer into layers. So one is the hardware layer. Hardware. The layer of hardware. Right? This is the one layer here. Layer of hardware. And we have the user here. Users are at another layer. That is called the user's layer. So there's a kind of a gap here. The gap is the difficulties of using hardware by the user. That means now if you take hardware, the computer hardware, it is really complex. Normally you and me cannot normally get work done out of hardware directly because what is being done through the hardware is really difficult for people like us to understand. For example, let's say if you are trying to take a printout from the printer, do you know how to send the signals to the printer to take a print out of a document? You don't know. I also don't know. Right? That is something very tricky and something very difficult for a person like me or you to have. Right? So you also, of course, uh, are, I mean, new to computers, right? I mean, not that new, but still you have not done much when you come to the computers. But when you take this, if you take user and hardware, there's a big gap between the user and the hardware. And user cannot directly do things with the hardware because it is difficult. So again, we'll take some more examples. Daruka, have you assembled the computer? Assemble the computer. Have you?
So can you repeat that?
Can you have you assembled the computer? Assemble. Assemble mean? Yes or no?
No.
No, you may not have done it yet because now let's say if I want to buy a computer, uh, sometimes you can now, for example, the ways that we can buy computers. One is, so you have a computer there. So sometimes we can go to, Abans, Singer, those shops you have seen, right? Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So we can go to one of these shops and buy a laptop or a computer directly. So they just have it ready for you. But some people, so those computers are expensive, which are available in those shops. So you can just go there, you can pay money, get it. Some people who don't want those computers which are expensive, what they do is they go to some other shops and they buy the parts of the computer separately from different shops where it is cheaper. Right? If you take the hard disk, the CPU, the motherboard, memory, those things they buy, right? Those things they buy separately, and they do assembling it, right? They just fix it together and get the working computer. So do you understand the difference between buying a computer from a shop, going there by paying money, and going to other shops and getting things and then assembling it? Do you understand now the
Yes,
difference?
sir.
Right. Now, why people assemble it? Cheaper. You can save money. One is that. The other one is sometimes what you buy from the shops, which are already available there, ready-made, are not going to be there. I mean, which are ready-made, sometimes are not up to your standard. So you need more processing power. You need more memory in your computer. So they don't give that. So what you do is you go and you tell, I need this much of memory. So they give me that much of memory. So you can incorporate that into your computer. ඒ කියන්නේ එතකොට දැන් අපි වෙනම ගිහිල්ලා කම්පියුටර් එකක් අර shops වලින් ගන්නවා වගේ නෙමෙයි. assemble කරද්දී අපිට ඕන විදියට items දාලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. memory ගොඩක් වැඩියෙන් දා ගන්න පුළුවන්. RAM එක කියලා අපි කියන්නේ අපි ඒව කරමුනේ. RAM එක වැඩි කර ගන්න අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රමාණයට දා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට තව RAM එක වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. the processing අපිට process එක අපිට ඕනෑම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. So you can take them and you can assemble by yourself if you know how to do that. What if you don't know how to assemble, but you still want such a computer? And now what I'm saying is now I don't want to purchase that expensive computers in those shops. I want to assemble the computer, but by taking the parts. I can buy the parts, but I can't assemble. Now I am in a trouble. How can I do that? So if I know how to assemble, I can take the parts, come home and do it. But now I don't know how to assemble it. But I can buy the parts. I can select the parts and now what can I do? Because assembling is difficult. I don't know how to do that. It is complex. Right? It is difficult for me to do. So I tell the people in the shop to what? Do it for me and give it. Right? So they charge the same amount. They don't charge extra for that normally. They give the machine assembled to us without a charge. So I can get it for a lesser price. Do you understand that? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now let's see how that is happening. So let's say this is me. These are my computer parts. And who is in the middle? Now I don't know how to assemble them. I have problem in fixing them together. So someone should help me. Who is helping? People at the shop or technician at the shop. Right? Technician at the shop is going to help me to assemble it. Like that, there should be another layer who is helping the user to use this hardware. So these are computer parts. This is me. This is a technician. Similarly, we can take another example. Let's say you go to a restaurant to eat or to take a meal. Now you can't. So you go there. Now, once you're grown up, you will go alone, right? Otherwise, you will have to go with your parents. Now, let's say you are grown up. Now you, at the moment, let's say you don't know how to cook. But I hope you can cook in sooner, but not right now, since you are really small. So now let's say you want to eat something. So then you don't know how to cook. So you go to the restaurant. In the restaurant, you have these, in their kitchen, they have a lot of different ingredients and knives, grinders, right? Blenders, they have everything. This is you, right? Dhanuka. And this is the tools in the kitchen, in the restaurant. And also what? Food ingredients. Food ingredients and tools in the kitchen. Now you can't directly cook. So there should be someone in the middle. Who is that? Chef.
The chef.
Yeah, chef comes in the between and helps you how to prepare whatever you need. You are not going to the kitchen. You just, chef is asking you what he needs, what you need to eat. And he will go there. He will do the complex stuff that you can't do. And he will then bring the dish to you without showing what is happening in the background. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's come to this one. Now when you take this, you have to have something in the middle who helps the user to do the complex operations here. So it is similar to this situation. So you have the hardware, you have the user, but you can't use the hardware directly because they are really complex. So something called operating system. Which is a kind of a software, another layer, the software layer, which comes in between this user and hardware, will help the user to perform different things. And also, on top of this, there's another layer called application software. Applications. So applications mean things like what? Microsoft Word. Media players, you may have used them. What are they? The things that you use for listening to music, games. They are also running on top of operating system. Without operating system, you cannot do anything. Right? So you must use an operating system in order to get work done out of this hardware. So this is the main thing. On top of that, you have the user and applications. Application is being installed on top of operating system. So what are the examples of operating system? What are they saying? Yes,
So an operating system is a software.
it's
This
a
software.
software. Yeah. These and these both are software. And this is a actually a software program, a collection of software. What are they?
And then this software is necessary to fulfill the task using a computer. Many tasks such as controlling hardware and software and providing a user interface are performed by it.
Yeah, that is going to give an interface for the user to use this hardware. That's what is happening from operating system. So hardware is here. This operating system is over here, and applications mean this MS Word, MS Excel, media players, right? And games. Those kind of things are on running on top of operating system. So as I told you, this should be there. As you can see here, examples. Someone comes in the middle to help you out. Here, operating system comes in the middle to help the user to get things done easily, right? And
Yes.
and then the other thing is when you take operating system is what you called as now in your computer. You may have seen what Windows. Have you seen
Windows.
Windows? Right.
Yes.
Windows is what the operating system of your computer may be. Okay, Windows is the operating system that is used in your computer. Right now, what we should do is we have to take this. You have to draw this right after what you have written, so you can complete this note.
So, sir,
Hello.
Windows operating system is Windows.
Yes.
So,
Example.
what about what is it? What's it? What's Linux?
Yeah, Linux is also another operating system. Okay, so input examples are going to be Microsoft.
And Apple Macintosh.
Yeah, Macintosh.
Yeah.
And Linux,
There's Linux.
Macintosh.
Yes.
So
And
these are examples of operating systems, right?
what's Ubuntu, sir?
Sorry,
Ubuntu. Ubuntu.
Ubuntu is actually Linux. It is a version of Linux.
Fedora.
Fedora is also Linux version. Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, like that. There are so many different versions of Linux available. Okay, so that is you will discuss about them uh, in the future in other grades. So this is okay. I can see that grade 7. So now are you in grade 7?
Yes, sir.
Are you just left grade 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, then we have to start. We have to finish this off and start grade 7 as well. Okay. Okay, today we'll do this and then we'll try to start grade 7.
Okay, sir.
So because this is intended only for grade 6, because I thought
So I have to draw that, right?
yeah, you have drawn this.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
We're done.
All right. Right done. So let's proceed with this one. We can see now the operating system. It's going to be acting as a captain. So because it's going to be the one that is controlling everything. Okay, so let's write down operating system as subtopic. Let's write down. We can see now here I have just written certain stuff about operating system. The operating system is the layer of software that mediates, right? So it should be mediates the communication between the hardware and the user. So that you can see from this diagram or the diagram that you have drawn. So it comes between the user and the hardware to do operations that are requested by the user on the computer hardware and perform some actions to give some output to the user. Since the hardware operations are really complex to be handled by the normal user, the operating system comes to save the user from getting into complex operations that involve hardware. Right? So since the hardware operations are really complex to be handled by a normal user, the operating system comes to save the user from. That is why, because it is too complex to be handled, it is easy once the operating system comes between the hardware and the user. The use of compute is made simple by the layer of software. So that layer of software is there. So people can manage to use it very well. Now, we have just gone through what it is. And for example, now let's say there are many different other, what you call the different examples that we can discuss or different real world scenarios that we can understand. So I told you one scenario that is about you, chef and kitchen, and about me, the computer shop and the technician. Right? I told two examples for you to understand what kind of a task is done by the operating system. Now, when you take operating system, now if you just uh, uh, think of uh, let's say operating system as a captain of a certain team, the players are going to be software and hardware. This one is going to regulate or just supervise the software and the hardware, or captain is the one supervises the players. Operating system is the one that supervises and controls the software and the hardware. That is how it goes. Right? So that is really easy for it. Now these are the examples: Windows, Linux, Red Hat is another version of Linux, and Mac OS is produced from Apple Pro Macintosh computers. So Windows is done with.
The Red Hat one,
Yeah, Red Hat is a version of Linux. It is
that
Linux.
that came in my grade 6 third term exam.
Yes.
It was called Brave.
Sorry.
It was there wasn't a in my grade 6 final exam.
Yes.
There we had to name these icons,
You have to name this icon. So did you do it correctly?
but that icon didn't have a red hat. So and the answer was Brave.
What was your answer?
Brave.
Can you type it and say it? I just can't hear it properly.
I wrote Brave and they marked it correct.
What did you type? I can't actually hear what you type. What are the spellings? So can you type it in the chat and send it to me?
Brave. Okay. That was the answer, the correct answer.
Is that? Oh, it's not the correct answer. It's a red hat. So I'll show you.
And that one just was all black. No hats. Just all black.
Okay. Let's see. So there's nothing called Brave here. So I just search for Brave. So we have this. But if you just go Red Hat, you can see the icon is this Red Hat. See the icon. Red Hat Linux, right? So it's the Linux version anyway. The version. So this is, I don't know how they gave that answer anyway.
Yes. Give me a second, sir.
Sorry?
Give me a second, sir.
Gamta?
Okay, sir. I just went to the washroom.
Okay. You go and come.
Okay. Okay, sir. Done.
Okay. Now, so just remember these icons: Mac, Windows, Linux. Linux and Red Hat both are kind of similar. Similar means it's like this. Now, let's say if you get a car, you have different brands of cars. Uh, so Linux is similar. I mean, if Linux is cars, these are the different brands of Linux. Red Hat is a one, Fedora is another one, then Ubuntu is another brand, like that. So there are different brands of Linux available. So Windows, you have different versions of Windows. You here at this moment, it may be a bit difficult for you to understand because it is a bit complex, but still you will understand then. Once you go to grade 8, most of the time there are certain stuff that will let you understand these things further. Because even from grade 6 to grade 11, you have the same thing with additional uh, knowledge. Yes.
That penguin's name is Linux kernel, right?
Sorry.
Linux kernel,
Yes.
because he was also in the exam for naming the icon.
Yeah, Linux kernel is something else down there. It is not listed here. Linux kernel means now this kernel means this one. Yeah, you have to refer to the kernel like this. Kernel. Linux kernel means it is a bit advanced concept. There is a. I will show you where the Linux kernel is in this diagram, but it's not in the main syllabus. But let's see. So kernel is somewhere here. It is Linux kernel or whatever. Every operating system has a kernel. So kernel is at the bottom part of the operating system, which is going to communicate with the hardware. Means this part is going to be the kernel of the operating system. It is a special section in the software that is going to be what you call that is going to be mainly used for communicating between the hardware, right? Communicating to the hardware from like this, right? That is what you call a kernel. But when you take your answers that you have written, I don't know why they ask such a complex thing from you, but just remember that, right? So you can just draw this as well if you have. I will just unshare this for the moment. Can you see that the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can just draw this the kernel part here. The that is going to be the bottom of the operating system, which is going to be used for communicating with hardware devices.
Okay.
Okay, but it is not in your syllabus anyway. But if they ask it, it's better to.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now the user interface. Operating system gives a user interface to the user, right? So it is they are going to give user interface to the user because that is going to be kind of what you call the particular method that is going to be given to the user to interact with the operating system or interact with the computer. So what we see is actually a user interface. So what you see here is actually user interface. දැන් මේ ඔයාලට පේන්නේ නැත්තම් user interface එක තමයි. This is the user interface. It has certain menus like this. which you can use to communicate with the uh, computer. So you can just see different icons here. So once you click on them, it will open up and let you proceed with some stuff. For example, now if you want to play the calculator, it gives you this menu item which you can select this and
The
proceed,
calculator will pop up.
that you can use for doing different calculations. So that is what we call the user interface, which lets you communicate with the computer. So this is offered by the operating system, right? So let's write down user interface offered by the operating.
So do we have to write the one on top as well?
This one,
Yes, those ones.
okay, we'll write it in a moment, right? So I will just give you this to write. I will keep it for you to write. So let's finish this part and write. Okay.
Okay.
The operating system.
From
So
the operating system.
okay.
The user interface offered by the operating system is a subtopic.
Yeah, it's subtopic. So I will just show you. I will just tell you when to write. Just wait for the moment. So once I tell you, start writing from this one, right? Did you write this part? No, you did not.
Not yet.
Okay, okay. We'll write it down. So first of all, just wait a moment. Uh, right. It is called the user interface of the operating system. Okay, you can now write this entire thing. When I'm writing, try to understand what I have written. If you don't understand, just let me know, right? You can start.
Okay.
Danuka, do you understand your writing this?
I am writing it.
Okay, write it and let me know if anything's not.
Okay, sir. Done, sir.
Right. Okay, so now we have see what we can do about your grade 7, because now I don't think we should be doing grade 6 anymore. So because I thought that you are actually going to grade 6. So let's discuss about it and see, right?
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Danako, so we'll stop for today and let's see. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Danako, right. Good night.
Bye, sir.
Good night, Danako.
Good night, sir.